The great Brian Kilmeade, folks. This is a rare moment. We haven't had him in a while. He's co-host of Fox and Friends. He's the host of One Nation. He's the host of the Brian Kilmeade radio show. And he's the author of The President and the Freedom Fighter, an excellent book. Brian, welcome back. I almost don't know where to begin. Here's one of the, let's see. This is a statement from Hunter Biden's lawyers, I think. Yeah, hang on. Here's a new one. Any verifiable words or actions of my client, have you seen this, in the midst of a horrible addiction, are solely his own and have no connection to anyone in the family. And now here's another quote from the White House spokesman, quote, as we have said many times before, the president was not in business with his son. As we have also said many times before, the Justice Department makes decisions in its criminal investigations independently. And in this case, the White House has not been involved. Brian Kilmeade, these are ludicrous statements.
So that statement is coming off something that was revealed by the whistleblower last night that said that he was shaking down this Chinese executive with direct links to the Chinese government. Evidently, he was upset that he wasn't directly responded to or got the money that he was looking for. And my dad's going to come after you. He's not going to be happy. He's sitting right here next to me. Now, that, on top of the fact that Tony Bobulinski said they met at the Beverly Hills Hotel, the top of that they've talked before, the top of the fact that the whistleblower brought up what, unrelated to what other people said, when you look at the ledger, 10% for the big guy is Joe Biden. I mean, I don't even know how many people on MSNBC and CNN really take those statements seriously. Did he have a crack problem? Absolutely. But was he coherent enough to write a pretty coherent text messages? Absolutely. You might not like the text of it, but it was fine. There were commas and there were dashes. Crackheads don't usually do that. At least he wasn't on crack at the time. The other thing is, he was strong enough to be able to cut deals with Kazakhstan, Romania, Ukraine, and China. So he had moments of lucidity. And with addiction, as almost everybody I know has somebody directly affected of addiction. So no one's judging people on that. We're talking about not Hunter Biden's future or past. We're talking how it relates to the President of the United States when he was vice president and how it relates to our security. So no one gets sidetracked. They want you to talk about addiction and how bad it is. That's not the point. And that's what people want to grab onto. What I thought was interesting is I was watching another channel right before I hopped on here, and they were saying, they outlined this whole thing. But they say, whistleblowers, that's typical. If you're not happy with the way an investigation's going and you work harder in a case, you're going to go find somebody to complain to. That's what whistleblowers know. Not work harder in a case. They said you were back. These whistleblowers, two of them, you made me back off after 5 years. Every time I got close to getting an answer, you made me back off.
You, the Justice Department. Yeah, the FBI.
Yeah.
Just saying. Right. Just saying.
So it's the AG.
We've got more quotes. What do you got? Communications like these made it clear we needed to search the guest house at the Biden's Delaware residence where Hunter Biden stayed for a time. Listen to this. In a September 3rd, 2020 meeting. 2020, September 3rd. 3 years ago, the assistant U.S. attorney told us there was more than enough probable cause, but the question was whether the juice was worth the squeeze. She continued that optics were a driving factor in the decision. She said a lot of evidence in our investigation would be found in the guest house of former Vice President Biden, but then said there's no way we will get that approved. Brian, this is totally political. Totally. FBI and Justice Department.
So if you think about this,
it's a protection racket.
2020, right before the election, 2 months before. Do you think the voters need to know about that? I think so. Me too. Do you think that in 2019, when we found out, by the way, that's when the FBI realized the laptop was real in 2019. Now, my question, and I texted him before I came out here, to William Barr. Now, the AG found out about we found about the text message after the election. But I want to know, did William Barr get informed by the FBI that there was a laptop that showed international business dealings with the former vice president and candidate for president of the United States, and that could have illicit deals, us profiting off of influence peddling with the future president of the United States, or at least one who's going to get the Democratic nomination?
What are you saying? I'm
waiting for my text message back, because that's my turn. They knew that they went ahead and did their Apple password, and they said, okay, this is Hunter's laptop. And they still went ahead and got 51 Intel experts to sign off and said this was classic Russian disinformation, knowing it was not. I mean, this is unbelievable to me.
That's what. Look, the Bidens are telling us the WhatsApp communications message was incorrect, or they're blaming it on addiction.
Addiction. They're saying that was accurate, but the president's son, the president says his dad wasn't
there. His father was there. Yeah, well, he was. I don't believe a word of it. They're telling us that the Treasury suspicious activity reports are incorrect. They're telling us that the whistleblowers themselves, who were all over this, are incorrect. They're telling us, the FBI is actually telling us, because the FBI has been so obstructive in this, the FBI is telling us that one of their own best informants, a guy in business who they paid a couple of $100 grand to down through the years, that he's wrong too, that there are no telephone tapes, that there is no Burisma oligarch, that all this stuff is just made up. See, here's the thing. Hillary Clinton's campaign made stuff up, and we've learned that in spades, and that was the John Durham report. This stuff, whether it leads or not to conviction, this stuff is not made up. These are factoids.
You can't just discredit everybody at the same time.
That's right.
And I'll add one more thing. They said everything is made up. All this stuff doesn't matter. But when you put it all together, it shows international business deals being done and money being made to the tune of $17 million. You're better at math than I'll ever be. Since when do you not pay taxes for 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018? And then when they do decide that you didn't pay enough taxes, they came to the conclusion it's $1.2 million, and he pays $100,000 as restitution? What rate is that? My goodness. These rich, horrible rich people that don't want to pay taxes like Joe Biden talks about. If he made, this is the big story, if he made $17 million in these various countries, including in the Congo with that energy company from China, where is the money? Why aren't you paying it? Where is the money right now? And number two is, how dare you get away with not paying any taxes on that? You should be paying close to 50% on that.
But of course, the supply side would say 25%.
Of course.
That's a joke.
Yeah,
Joke, just kidding. Has this affect the 24 race?
I'm wondering.
I want pure Brian Kilmeade here.
Okay.
Go ahead. Instinct.
Number one.
Instinct.
My instinct is Trump should run on this. Don't worry about the counting votes. He should run on, if you guys only knew what we know now, how would you have voted then?
Great point.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be better in 40.
Point.
I'm going to be better as 47 than I ever was at 45. And number two, number two is I'm wondering if Gavin Newsom and the governor of Illinois, and I'm wondering if the governor of Colorado is saying, listen, we know he's struggling. We know he can't do any rallies. We know he can't go 2 or 3 days without a major mistake like the what he just said with China, even calling them dictators unintentionally. So I'm wondering how much longer the Democratic field just stays RFK Jr.
All right. Akila's screaming at us. It is a pleasure to have you
back. They don't yell at me. They're nice.
Just me.
No, that's incredible.
They're nice to you.
I like not being the host.
I can't blame anybody. Anyway, remember, you got Brian on One Nation with Brian Kilmeade. That's
8 o'clock,
Saturdays
baby.
at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox News. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you.